Good morning and good evening. Welcome back to For the Lonely Nights. I'm Paul Kim, and thank you once again for joining us on another episode of this podcast series. Hope you guys are having an amazing week. I'm having a great week myself. These past couple of days, I've been kind of preparing myself mentally and physically for school, because school's right around the corner for me. It's actually exactly in a week, and so I've been kind of preparing for all the workload that's gonna hit, pretty soon, and not just the schoolwork and classes, but I'm also serving in church, college ministry, and even personal things as well. So I got a lot on my plate, so I've been trying to figure out how to balance all these things. How I want to go about, scheduling my days, and taking care of all these things, but. I think definitely the biggest thing I've been working on was trying to wake up early and be a morning person. I think switching to, staying up till 4 a.m. and waking up around noon to being a morning person, I think that's one of the hardest things that someone can do. Dang, I think it's a temp number 1,000 or something. For sure, it's just so difficult. But I'm sure I'll get there someday or somehow. But imagine, how amazing that would be, to wake up early, start my day with devos, the Word of God, with a little exercise, and I think just that in of itself makes the day so much better. But I'm still working on that, a work in progress, and hopefully, I'll get it down before school starts. But yeah, that's just kind of what's been up with me. Oh yeah, I'm also back from my trip that I told you guys about last week. I went to NorCal, visited SF, and a couple other places. And yeah, honestly, it was a great time, just amazing time. Got to spend a lot of quality time with a couple buddies, got to see some familiar faces. Overall, definitely needed it. And I promised you guys last week that I'd give you a recap of my trip. So let's start with that. That's gonna be the first thing we talk about today. How was the trip? Like I said, amazing time, great time. So I left early in the morning last Friday, right? Because I live in SD, so I live the furthest south, out of all my buddies. They, most of them, they live in the OC area, and so I had to wake up earlier. I woke up around 7, a little before 7, and just finally ate some breakfast. Did last minute checkups, see if I packed everything. And I also, forgot to pick up my camera. So I lent my camera to a friend a couple months back, but I forgot to pick it up. And I'm like, you know what? A camera would be pretty useful, in this trip. So I woke up a little earlier to pick it up, because he actually lives even further south than me. So I had to go, the other way, pick up the camera, and then make my way back up again. And yeah, honestly, the drive up to OC wasn't bad. It was 2 hours, a little over 2 hours. Met up with all my buddies there, and then we drove all the rest of the way up together. And I think from OC to where we were going, which was somewhere in NorCal, I forgot the city's name. It was Pleasanton area. It was around 5-6 hours. We made a couple stops, but yeah, just a quick, I guess, overview of how the trip went. We arrived, met up with a couple friends that lives in the area, had some dinner, and then we called it a night, went to the hotel, even walked around that night too. We talked a lot during the whole trip, had heart to hearts. But like Saturday, the next day, I think that was our only full day we had, so we definitely made the best out of it. And I think like the theme of our trip was, food hunting. We definitely based a lot of our agenda around, trying out all these different well-known and recommended spots. And so we ate a lot. We ate a lot of food. I don't think I've eaten this much food um in a while, honestly. And so yeah, I mean it's a trip. So I told myself I'm gonna try everything. And so definitely ate a lot. Um like if I don't think I remember everything, but going down the list of what I can remember, we ate some Turkish food, like Mediterranean food. We ate, went to Pier 39, ate the chowder there. Ooh, still as amazing as I remember it. Um, we got some went to Japantown, got some takoyaki, went to Chinatown, got some Chinese food, like family style. We also got some, there's this place called Gunman Kok, where I think, where it's like known for their buns. They're like steamed buns, with like meat in them and things like that. So we tried those. Um, we went to a place called The Bird, got their spicy chicken sandwiches. We went to a place where it's like they're known for their katsu sandwiches and like shoe cream sandwiches. So we tried those. We got some fresh oysters by the bay. Honestly, it was super expensive, but I think it was definitely worth it. Dang, like fresh oysters. Ooh, definitely a different experience. And what else did we eat? We got some fun NorCal, because apparently like the fun San Jose is like a different experience. It was okay. It wasn't anything too. I think I had better fun down here, but we had that. Um, yeah, honestly, we got so many things. I'm sure I'm forgetting a couple things, but yeah, ate so much food. Definitely enjoyed our time. We hit all of these um, low key spots, and we actually went on this hike too that like gets you to a cliff where you get a great view of like the ocean and like the bridge and all these things. It's like called Land's End, I think. And so yeah, we went on that hike, had a lot of fun, honestly. And yeah, even on Sunday we were supposed to leave in the morning to make our way down, but we're like, you know what, let's stay a little, let's stay a few more hours. So we definitely did more things. We left around dinner time actually, and like that's another 5-6 hour drive down, right? But that's to OC. So like like I said, like most of my buddies, they live in the OC area. So to them, once we got to OC like at 1 or 2 in the morning, like um, they just got to go home, shower, sleep, whatever they needed to do. And by that time, like we were all so dead, like we were so wiped out, so exhausted. We really enjoyed the trip for sure, but like yeah, we were just so dead. And but like for me, like I had another like 2 hours drive down to SD, and honestly, I think that was one of the the biggest struggles of the trip. Um, yeah, like because I was gonna talk about this a little later, but I mean I could talk about it now. Like I have this driving condition, and I'm sure like other people kind of feel that, like have felt the same way sometimes. But like whenever I drive for like more than an hour at a time, or like when I'm just kind of like stuck in traffic or things like that, like I have a tendency to like to doze off. But like it's not like a like like oh yeah, kind of dozing off every once in a while behind the wheel. It's like it hits hard, like it hits hard and very frequently. Um, and so like yeah, like I said, if I'm stuck in traffic, or if I'm just like kind of, if I turn my brain off, like if I'm on a highway, like on a long drive, like things like that, like all of a sudden out of nowhere it would hit, and I would just like randomly just start dozing off, and then I would catch myself, and it would happen again like a few seconds later, and like it would be like an like reoccurring battle until I reach my destination. um and most of the times like I develop these little tricks that I do to kind of keep myself awake. Like I like punch myself. I like blast my music and sing along with it to like kind of keep myself awake. But like this 2 hour drive down to SD, like that was in and of itself like a whole nother struggle. Like it's never been that rough. And so like yeah, I was like kind of using my tricks, and like blasting my music and like things like that to keep myself, awake, keep myself from falling asleep. But like the last 30 minutes was like the real struggle, like the real battle. Like honestly, like none of my tricks were working. Like I couldn't do it. Like nothing I did was kind of keeping me awake. Literally every couple seconds, and like I'm not even joking, like literally every couple seconds I would be on the verge of just knocking out. And like I remember thinking to myself, I was like, dude, like I should really pull over and like do some stretches or something, so I don't actually like fall asleep and like get into a crash. But like I was like, dude, there's only like 15 minutes left. There's only like 10 minutes left. Like I can do this. I'm almost there. And um, you know, thinking back on it now, like dang, like I don't know how I made it out. But I think like one trick that I used, cause like I said, like the music, blasting my music and singing along to it, that wasn't working. And so one thing I did to kind of keep myself awake was I pretty much recorded a podcast in the car as while I was driving. Um, like the same thing like I do here. I like recorded myself on the phone, and I was just kind of just talking, just about whatever came to mind. And surprisingly, it worked really well. Um, or at least it worked, the best out of all the things I've been doing. And I think it's because like, when you kind of sing along to music, um, like most of the songs on my playlist, like I know by heart. So I know like the lyrics, I know the melody, I know what words to sing next. I know, what songs or what part of the song is coming next. So I honestly don't have to think much. Like there's really not much brain activity that goes on for me to sing along to these songs. And so I think, you know, I wasn't actively being part of the process, and so kind of that allowed my brain to relax and doze off. But recording a podcast, at least for me, it's a constant, active process. It's constantly thinking, constantly trying to guide the conversation, thinking of what to say next, how to phrase certain things. And yeah, it's just a lot of brain activity, and I think that's what really kind of kept me awake, at least enough until I got home safely. And I actually, like I said, recorded it on my phone. And I'm gonna share a little part of it right now, to give you an idea of what I was rambling on about. So enjoy. All right. I don't know if you guys can hear me because it's probably loud in the background, but yeah, this is me, this is Shinu, and I am currently recording right now. I'm on my way back home from my San Francisco trip, and honestly, this is the last stretch right here. Coming to San Francisco, driving all the way back home, that's like an 8-hour trip. Obviously I didn't drive the whole way. We took turns until we got to their place, and by that time it was already like 2 in the morning, and we were all so dead and wiped out. And now I'm making my way back home, driving fast, but it's hard to stay awake, especially when you spend not only this whole day walking around and doing so much, but you've been doing this for the past day and a half. You've been waking up early, barely sleeping each night, and now you're here, just running purely just on shock alone. That I'm giving myself, like punching myself every half second to keep myself awake. But yeah, who would have thought, For the Lonely Nights um, comes in clutch to save the day. But like I said, the trip in and of itself was a great time. I definitely would go again, next year or maybe in a few months. We'll see. Hopefully next year though we go a little bigger. I was thinking like Japan, and like Korea, but we'll see. Um, but yeah, that's that. It definitely is a much needed break, I think, and I think it just definitely gave me like it like helped me get refreshed, especially now that school's starting. So uh, a blessing from God for sure. And yeah, I mean that's it. That's all about that. Like I said, the second thing I wanted to talk about was the whole driving thing, and so I guess we kind of killed two birds with one stone there. Um, but like this last thing, honestly, this is actually pretty interesting too. I think yesterday actually I had nothing to do. There was really nothing that I needed to work on or anything. I was gonna start to like work on editing the vlog, of all the videos I took on this trip. But then like I kind of uploaded all the footage. I'm like, oh shoot, this is kind of a lot, and so I kind of got lazy with that as well. But yeah, I was kind of like sitting at my desk. I'm like, what should I do? And suddenly just kind of I just grabbed my guitar and I was just kind of like strumming through, and like somehow, like I guess my genius mind started working, and like lyrics started flowing in my head. I was like kind of like writing my own song right there. And this is something I actually been like working on for past actually my whole life, honestly. Like I always like would just suddenly think of like song ideas and like song tunes that I could write songs to, and like I would always record them on my phone whenever they popped up. And so I have like a lot of song ideas, and even this past month, like whenever I had time, like I would just kind of try to write lyrics. I think that's the hardest part, writing the words to these songs. But I never really finished any of them. And like I always have like a chorus done for this song and like a verse done for that song. But like it's hard to complete a song. It really is. But yeah, like this one, like yesterday, like I was saying, like this one wasn't on anything too serious. It was definitely like a very lighthearted, a joke song, you would say. But it came out pretty naturally, and I'm like, oh shoot, this is not that bad, honestly. So I whipped out my mic. I like spent a couple hours recording and putting it together. And I like so the song title is called Boxer Briefs. So you can already tell like this is a very stupid song. But I definitely had a lot of fun recording it, and it like kind of got me like thinking like dang, I should really take that step into making my own kind of cover channel as well, because that's something that I've been thinking a lot about, hand in hand to this, like with the podcast, like this one right here. I've always like over the years I've always been thinking like dang, I should start a channel, where I just kind of cover songs or upload my own songs or whatever it is, because like I think music is definitely a big passion of mine as well, and I really enjoy like singing and things like just jamming out on my guitar, but I never got around to it. And I think just for the same reasons as like as like this podcast, why I started so late on this podcast as well. But I mean, I always tell myself better now than never, and never really get around to it. But I think this time around, I'm definitely like just the fact that I completed a song, just motivated me enough to start, building this channel. And so I'm gonna call it For the Lonely Night Music, FTLN music, or I think that's what it's gonna be called for now. Maybe I'll come up with a catchier name for it a little later on. But yeah, this boxer brief song is gonna be the first upload, first thing to represent the channel, and that in of itself is a very scary idea. But who knows? Like, I definitely don't think I'll be uploading as frequently as I do with these podcasts, but it's definitely just another platform for me to archive my my hobbies and like things like that on there. So yeah, I'll leave a link to it in the description if you guys want to check it out, if you guys want to listen to the song again. I was actually kind of debating about this, but I'll play the song at the end here to kind of play us out on this podcast. So it won't be your typical, with the smooth track, do 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 do, to kind of play us out. I'll play the song instead, and keep in mind, I made this song in a couple hours, so yeah. But that's honestly all I wanted to say. This is definitely going to be one of the shorter episodes, and even though it's short, I still have a passage I wanted to share, and the passage comes from Luke chapter 21, and it's going to be verses 32 to 36. Truly I tell you, this generation will certainly not pass away until all these things have happened. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will never pass away. Be careful, or your hearts will be weighed down with carousing, drunkenness, and anxieties of life, and that day will close on you suddenly like a trap. For it will come on all those who live on the face of the whole earth. Be always on the watch and pray that you may be able to escape all that is about to happen, and that you may be able to stand before the Son of Man. Amen. So like I said, I'll be playing us out with with my new song, my new hit single. But yeah, until next week, have a great week, guys. Have a fantastic day. And as always, all glory to God. People say I'm the problem and I'm not welcome back. They say it's wrong that a man like me would be rocking that. I hear their voices when I sleep, but what's the deal with liking boxes over boxer briefs? And I love the way the wind flows through my thighs. Makes me feel like I could fly. But boxer briefs, they're squeezing down on me, and I just can't feel a thing. So talk all you want, it don't matter much to me. Just a boy who likes his boxes over boxer briefs. It's Christmas morning, Santa's finally coming last. I hope he got me boxers I saw last week at Gap. But behold, what do I see? Santa, you bastard, you really gave me more boxer briefs. And I see the way they stare as I'm walking by, faker than a two-faced Gemini. Those boxer briefs, I'll throw them on the street, but I'm sure they'll be back for me, haunting me at night in bed when I'm asleep, dreaming of the sweet release from these boxer briefs. Just a boy who likes his boxes